So, Jim, what did you think of King Kong versus Godzilla?
Oh man, it was horrible.
What?
Yeah, well, no, it was like horrible in that like it's not a fantastic movie. It's not that great, but it was so much. I got so much pleasure from watching it. It was so enjoyable to watch. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was. I don't think it was anything special, but if you got a thing for watching two adult men wrestle each other in monster costumes in Japanese movies, then yeah, this is your jam. This is great.
Yep, it's my berry jam.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, your drunk berry jam.
I'm a big Godzilla fan. I mean, I love the original King Kong, but overall, like, Kong has never been that interesting to me. He's just a big gorilla. And here he's not a big gorilla. He's a person in a big gorilla suit, basically, because
Yeah.
they really anthropomorphize him quite a bit here, and it does make him very silly. I like that Godzilla is treated seriously. I appreciate that. They
Yeah.
go a little too far with Kong in terms of if they're trying to make a good movie, but again, for just I don't think this movie is very good for just me sitting down and watching it. Like I think all the dumb things they did with Kong are probably to the benefit of my enjoyment because it's incredibly stupid to see Kong try and throw a rock and then flip himself over and knock himself out. Like that's great. It's like the White Bear Mitsubishi the commercial or the outtakes for it.
This is like I'm not going to say like our perfect drive-in movie, but this is what you kind of want once in a while at the drive-in. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Is,
Pure silliness, pure
yeah.
unadulterated silliness.
Yeah, and it's great. For me, because I have to admit, I haven't seen any other Godzilla movies, not even the second one that has already been covered on this podcast. I know. Don't worry, I'll watch it though before our wrap-up. Don't worry. But I was shocked at how differently the character of Godzilla looked, I guess, and acted and was handled from the first movie to this movie.
Yeah.
And how differently King Kong was handled from like the original.
Well, yeah, and there really is no comparison between Toho Kong and RKO
exactly.
Kong. Like they're different creatures.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
different characters,
exactly.
I guess. But as for Godzilla, yeah, he looks a lot worse. He just looks better in black and white. I do appreciate the blue, when he's breathing his atomic breath and everything, but overall, like, yeah, it doesn't look great, but it's fine, whatever.
But something that continued throughout the Godzilla movies, for me so far anyways, was the impressive model work.
Okay.
For me, one of the most impressive scenes was like an army fight that Godzilla has near the beginning, when all these like anti-aircraft guns and like cannons.
Once again, though, the tanks look awful. But
the
yes,
tanks look awful, but I'm amazed
Yeah.
at how they were. Like, I guess they were all remote
I like
controlled
how he
or
melts
something.
them. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, the melting tank, that was awesome. But like all of that stuff was just so much. Like it was just so enjoyable to watch. There was also a bit when, Christ, I forget the character's name, but when he went,
I didn't even bother referring to the names after a certain point. I'm just like, I listed their names and I don't know. I don't think I ever knew the CEO's name. He's just goofball.
Yeah, well, when the one fella in the Jeep went to go get his sister, he's like driving along like those mountain roads. There was model shots of a Jeep driving along a mountain road interspliced with the man actually driving the Jeep, and I had to rewind it and rewatch it because I was confused as to which one was the model. Like I was like, wait a minute. Like it actually got me. I was like, this is impressive. This is great. Yeah, it's just such a goofy, goofball, schlocky movie, but it's so enjoyable to watch.
I think we've got two movies. I think a lot of people that will not have seen the original Fly would probably assume these two movies are similar in terms of kind of tone and silliness, and that's really not the case. But this movie is that, dumb, stupid, like, kind of makes you feel like a child. And I'm not saying that. I mean, yeah, I saw this movie a lot as a kid, but there's just something so childlike about seeing a guy in a Godzilla costume fall through a trapdoor, like it's just
scene.
brings out the inner child.
Yeah.
And that's what over time, that's what I've really come to love about Godzilla. I think Godzilla can be done in a very serious way. Obviously, we saw it with the original. We've seen it with Shin Godzilla. But, the sillier the Godzilla is, even if those movies, I didn't watch them as a kid, they still kind of make me feel like a kid because, because it actually gets sillier than this, believe it or not. a lot sillier movies than King Kong vs. Godzilla in the series.
No.
But
Oh, no.
yes. Well, son of Godzilla. I mean, once Godzilla has a son.
Yeah, I'll have to take your word for it, and I will not be watching them until they show up in the rotation for our podcast.
All right. That's fair.